Hi, hi everyone. I'm Chanukya from DPhi. Good morning and good evening to whichever part of the world you are in. And a very warm welcome to each one of you for today's live session. And so far, I think Mudit from our team has been hosting most of the live session. He's on a short break right now, and I'm taking the charge right now for today's session. And for those who are unattended about DPhi, we are a global community. We are a global AI community started with a purpose to educate and build AI for everyone so that we can solve meaningful problems out there. And as you can see, we host a number of initiatives for the community. There are boot camps going on. There are live sessions from experts, and one such initiative which we are running today is one of the expert sessions. We will talk about it in a while. And in our entire journey, we collaborate with several amazing partners. And today we have one such partner. I mean, who's our very old partner, Databuzz and Supreet Kaur with us. And this session was made possible with their collaboration. And with that, let me hand it over to Supreet. Maybe you can, yeah, it's all yours, Supreet, and probably we can take Saurabh along after this. Thanks.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Supreet. Just a brief introduction about me. Currently, I'm an AVP at Morgan Stanley. I also run this community, Databuzz, which is one of its kind, volunteer-driven community to engage people who want to pivot in this field. So we have some guided sessions for them, AI guided sessions such as these that we collaborate with, again, amazing communities like DPhi to collaborate and celebrate people who want to share their knowledge on AI. On the other hand, we also have fireside chat series where we celebrate people who had a very different journey and still were able to pivot in tech in some form or the other. We'll have those sessions starting in September. We had one in May. So stay tuned for that. And now it's my pleasure to introduce one of my friends and a very smart person that I know, Saurabh. So today he will be talking about conversational AI trends, and currently he's a data scientist at Home Depot. But I will let him introduce himself and take over the stage. Welcome, Saurabh. Let me add you to stream. Okay, now everyone can see you.
Yeah, thank you, Supreet, and thank you, Chanukya. Let me start sharing my screen.
Yes. So, Saurabh, I'll be at the backdrop, so the stage is all yours.
Great. Okay. So, good morning, everyone, and good evening to people in India. It's a pleasure to meet you. So, my name is Saurabh Vaichal. I'm a data scientist at the Home Depot, working in the conversational AI space. I did my bachelor's in India from Indian Institute of Technology, Gandhinagar in 2016. I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and after graduating, I was offered a job at Bharat Petroleum. In Bharat Petroleum, I was a operations executive in a LPG bottling plant in Maharashtra. And after working for 2 years in Bharat Petroleum, I decided to pursue masters in industrial engineering in Texas A&M. At Texas A&M, I really got interested into data science. I took courses in machine learning, statistics, and got an internship in Got It AI, which is a leading natural language processing startup in the Bay Area. And after graduating from Texas A&M, I started working with Home Depot. I've been working with Home Depot for almost 2 years now. And apart from that, my hobbies are playing music, biking, meditating, and I'm also a big fan of sports. Cricket and F1 are my favorite spots. So about Home Depot, it is the largest home improvement retailer in North America, uh, Mexico, USA, Canada. Um, with more than 2,000 stores, it has multiple delivery centers. It is one of the top 20 valuable companies in the world with annual revenue of more than $130 billion. So at Home Depot, you can get everything you need to set up or fix anything in your house and we provide a combination of service, value, and assortment. Uh, even the smallest thing, like a screw or a nut bolt to a 12-foot skeleton, you can get everything at the Home Depot. Our company sells more than 4 million SKUs, 4 million products, both online and store combined. And how do we interact with our customers? So I'd like to begin with IVR since this is my area of working. Customers can directly call us about any query that they have. We have we have phones in stores as well as we have toll-free numbers. We get requests about order statuses, about product availability, about any repairs or warranty damages, anything that they require. And customers can also interact with us through SMSs. Uh, and we provide details of customer orders through email channel. We have a excellent uh, we have excellent live chat option as well as a mobile web application. The Our app is has one of the best UIs. Also, you should check out our Instagram, Twitter, and other social media. Home Depot is quite active there, and we are also trying to get into voice in the future. We might experiment getting into voice assistants and enterprise managers. We do not talk to customers using voice assistants at the moment, but looking at the trends and the developments in the AI space, uh, I will not be surprised if we enter into the voice assistants. We collaborate with voice assistants to provide better customer service to our customers. So, like I said, this is homedepot.com, and customers get our numbers uh, through details on our website. On the top left, as you can see, it captures the nearest store the store nearest to you. It gives you the phone number. Customers can call us or they can directly talk to us using this um, chatbot available. And First of all, they get in both the channels, they are greeted by an conversational AI. If the conversational AI is able to solve the problem, that is well and good. If not, we direct them to a human. So, why conversational AI? First of all, it is helpful to get some containment opportunity when we use conversational AI. Containment. What do we define? What do we mean by containment? So, containment happens when the customer problem is solved without being transferred to a human agent. At the Home Depot, people can check the stock of product item or category of item. They can ask what is the order status or get general information like store hour, store address without any help from a real customer. When the easier problems are solved by our bot, it gives enough time to our agents, the human agents, to solve really complex problems, uh, which in the future our AI will also be able to solve. But at the moment, we are solving simple problems for our customers. Uh, and conversational AI is asynchronous. It is available 24/7. Customers can talk to our IVR and chatbots anytime. Conversational AI chatbots are also prompt. Uh, they Customers get instant replies. And one of the important factors with conversational AI is it is cost effective. It saves a lot of human hours and menial tasks. So if a customer is connected to a human agent after talking to a chatbot, they did not repeat themselves. Human agent knows exactly what the problem they are required to solve. Also, conversational AIs are data driven. We get data on customer behavior, engagement, and which in turn helps the company to serve them better. We are able to get a good understanding of what the customer is needing, and bots are highly scalable. As I told, we have about more than 2,000 stores in the US alone. We have 2,000 stores, and our conversational AI within our IVR system is able to is able to handle all those calls, like millions of calls per year. Also, because of conversational AI, the agent time is reduced. The time a human agent spends talking to a customer, it's reduced. And ultimately, our goal is customer satisfaction. We want to understand what they want. We want to solve their problems. We want to offer our best services. So, conversational AI is one of the best tools out there, which can help you achieve that customer satisfaction. So I'm going to talk a little bit about chatbots. And I recently read a report from Gartner. This was published in January 2022. If I can later I can share this slide deck, and it has all the links where I got the data and references. So it's interesting that in the next 2 years, 40% of organizations are planning to implement chatbots. So, as you are already aware, a lot of businesses in the last couple of years have partnered with WhatsApp chat, Messenger chat to be able to talk to customers. There are all sort of integrations available in the market. The companies want to get as close to the customers as possible, and conversational AI helps make it possible at a scale. 50% of enterprises will spend more per fiscal year on bot and chatbot creation than traditional mobile app development. This is fascinating. Like, instead of adding new features, new functionalities on the mobile app development, 50% of all enterprises will be spending more on bot and chatbots. So quite fascinating. And 20% of our organizations have already implemented chatbots. Home Depot is all big companies are part of those 27%. And of this survey which Gartner conducted, 79% of chief information officers expect an increase in the self-service investment. So, like I said, we are trying to contain as many calls, and when we contain calls, the customer problem gets resolved in a short time, as well as we save on agent hours, and we provide better customer service to our customers who actually need human help. So, it's the in the next couple of years, chatbot is going to be a very interesting and hot topic in the industry. So next, this is just for fun. This I've added a screenshot from 2018 episode of Young Sheldon. So he gets a computer, and there is a there is a fight in his house because his mom bought him a computer when his dad clearly didn't want her to buy for him. And so he talks to the bot, like, my parents are fighting. And Elizabot says, "Can you elaborate on that?" And it gives a very generic answer. But if you look at the entire conversation, it is very cleverly designed. It is uh, it is a rule-based chatbot, and unlike NLU-based ones which we see today, it is purely rule-based. It is it, it will match utterances against known patterns, and it will substitute some phrases, and it will make the user feel like they were actually talking to somebody. So this was built in 1960s in MIT, and you can actually say this. There are these bots have been deployed on the internet for you to play around with it. So, like I said, ELIZA matches utterances against known patterns, and they extract key phrases and transform sentences grammatically. For example, I talked to Eliza yesterday while making this presentation, and I said, "Hi." So Eliza said, "How are you? What would you like to discuss?" I said, "I'm not well today. Do you believe it is normal to be not well today?" So, as I expected, it works on regex regular expressions. It is a rule-based chatbot, and it extracts everything after the words "I am." So if I said I am, like I've written a pseudocode here. I added a screenshot for the code. It extracts everything after I am, like not well today, and it chooses at random from responses it have. So if you type in like the same sentence twice, you'll see the responses it gives are different. So right now on the screen, you'll see, do you believe it is normal to be not well today? But you can also see, did you come to me because you are not well today? So this is just an example. It has various rules based on what you say. On the screen, you say, you'll see my input as I am not well today, but I have some important work with you. If I say something like beginning with I have, or I want to, or I really want to, or something like that, it has inbuilt rules for each of those cases, and it's basically a tree-like model, a tree-like decision model, and based on what you input, it will give you a transformed sentence as a reply. So pretty interesting, and very fascinating that it was done in 1960s. So, in order to talk more about what data science does in my team, I'd like to introduce the group to entities and intents. I understand there may be a few advanced users in the audience, but just for the benefit of everyone or new people, have added these slides. Let's say a customer calls our bot and they're calling to check the balance. This is a case where the customer is calling a bank. So the NLU model understands that it is the customer is calling to check the balance, and they also understand that the account type they are wanting to check is the checking. And this information is then passed to the database, whatever database the company uses. Uh, and from the database, it tells that your current balance is XYZ dollars, some dollars. Similarly, let's say if this was not a bank, let's say if the customer says, I want to order a medium-sized pizza. We can design a system which understands that the intent is order pizza, and size of the pizza is medium. So all recent NLU systems, conversational AI systems, are built upon this understanding of natural language. You have entities and you have intents. Entities are also called as slots, and we also do something like slot filling for conversational design, which I'll talk a little bit later as we go through the presentation. So again, one of the again, continuing upon what we discussed about entities and intents. So we have some named entity recognition libraries for especially for beginners. You can try out Stanford NER, Spacey, and NLTK. And the above image is from Spacey Visualizer. So when you type in a sentence, it can tell you what type of entity is it. So they have pre-built entities, like Sebastian Thrun is a person, Google is an organization, and 2007 is a date. So it has been trained on data that can tell you person or date, location, and a few other things like that. It would be you can just go on this link, try it out. Another important concept is word vectors. Uh, Word vectors are mathematical representation of words. As you can see in the 3D space, king and king would be quite close to each other, and man, woman similarly. Words such as walking, walked, swimming, swam, they are quite similar. And one of the recent developments is in vectorization is word embeddings. Is it's generating word embeddings using a transformer-based deep learning models. So using this embeddings, we can uh, we can have a better understanding of what is being said based on the context. For example, BERT embeddings. BERT embeddings have different representations for bank in a river bank and a money bank. Whereas like basic word vectors such as spacey or word to vec would have the same representation for this river, no matter if they are in a river bank or a money bank. Uh, so transformer based models are have become smarter, and in the end of 2018, about for about 3-4 years ago, BERT was released. Since then, we have had quite a few developments in transformer based models. Yeah, and so since we're talking about transformer based models, a lot of times we experiment with pre-trained models from huggingface.co. The image on your left is a screenshot from BERT-based NER model, which I experimented with. Hugging Face contains pre-trained models for NLP, computer vision processing, computer vision, audio reinforcement learning. On the left is an example of NER task using BERT. BERT is, like I said, bidirectional encoder representation of transformers. It is trained on two tasks, mass language model and next sentence prediction. So this BERT model, it's a fun fact. BERT base was trained on 4 cloud TPUs for 4 days, and BERT large, another larger BERT model, it was trained on 16 TPUs for 4 days. So training models such as BERT has a significant impact on the environment. So what we do is in industry, we usually experiment with these pre-trained models, and we try to fine tune them. How do we fine tune them? We have data of our own, and we just train the last layer of this neural network with the data we have. So this takes relatively less time, and we can get results which are um, which are relevant to what we are expecting. And on this image on the left, you'll see that this BERT based NER model, it understands that Sam is a person and Atlanta is a location. And this works much better than Spacey and uh, the word to vector NERs like Stanford NER, which I showed in the previous slides. So, talking about main elements of conversational AI, we have been talking about natural language understanding. So, all these models, the word vectors, intents, entities, they are part of natural language understanding. We need to understand why the customer is talking to or calling us. What is the reason? So, that is the intent. It is the ability to understand what is being said. And we have been using a lot of transformer based models for this NLU for intent detection, entity extraction. It is yeah, so natural language understanding is the ability to understand what is being said. Conversational state management, it determines the flow of the conversation. So what happens when customer says something and after they reply another thing? Where do we take them? What do we ask them? And how do we want to limit the scope of the conversation? Um, what information should we take from them before we transfer them to an agent, or do we want to transfer to an agent or not? All those things are decided in the conversation state management. And generating or choosing the right response is how you're bot talks to our customer. So it's pretty straightforward. Currently, we don't do a lot of natural language generation. We just choose from a set of preset options. But in the future, there will be a lot of natural language generation, as you might have heard about Lambda model, which Google built. So yeah, that is another interesting part. And this is what I wanted to point out, that when we design conversations first, we necessarily don't get everything 100% in the first go. As you can see, the customer says, "What do we want?" The bot replied, "Chatbots." And when do we want them? The chatbot did not understand. Sorry, I did not understand your question, because the conversational designer, the engineering team, did not anticipate that such a question would be asked. So it goes to a fallback intent, and this fallback intent has a variety of options. Like, we ask the customer to repeat themselves, and after they repeat themselves, even if we don't understand, then we transfer them to an agent, or we try to ask them a different question, like prime them in a way that we get the desired information. Uh, so asking relevant questions is a big part of conversation design. And even if we don't uh, get the responses which we want, we iterate, and we train our models so that they understand what to expect from a customer. So in the next slide, I'm going to talk about our the life cycle, the data science life cycle. So firstly, we begin with data discovery. We analyze what the customer is saying, and once we have set up everything, text set up I mean the set up the bot, set up the voice agent, we are able to get the data. So we do text mining or text clustering. Or data discovery also happens when people from our user experience team, they talk to actual agents, or they talk to customers. That also gives us insights about why the customers are calling, um, what what are the difficulties of our contact center agents, how we can help them. And based on all this data, we design conversational flows. And for each of the states within the conversational flow, we add training data, we identify the common customer utterances, and we train models. uh, we experiment with various machine learning, deep learning models. We use active learning. Active learning is a process of identification of new training data. Uh, once you have a once you have a basic model, you use active learning to make it better. Then we generate test metrics. We see how is it doing. Is the precision good? Is the recall acceptable? How is the FN score? And so in certain cases, we need high precision, because we cannot uh, afford to send a certain number of calls to a particular department. So even if the accuracy is low or recall is low, if the precision is high, that is what we want, because we do not want customers to be routed again and again from one department to another for specific departments. So based on the intent, uh, based on what department that intent is mapped to, we make sure that the relevant metrics are as expected. And precision recall also are also important in case where the call is contained. But in those cases, we usually focus on accuracy of the model. But in case of transferring to departments, precision and recall are really important, and we look at precision, recall, all these metrics by intent and by transfer departments. And we monitor health of the bot and identify trends. I build dashboards, usually in Tableau, in Excel, to analyze how we are doing, how what percentage of calls are we containing, what is our what is our abandon rate, how many robocalls we are getting. So all these metrics we are monitoring, and we usually follow a conversation driven development ideology. So first we build a minimum viable assistant, then we improve by talking to the assistant. Like the team talks, we try out different things. We try to test the agent which we have, the chatbot which we have built, and then we ask some test users to play with it. And after implementing it, we do active learning, like we improve using conversations with real users. So we continuously update our data, our models, so as to reflect the current customer requirements. And we also do some A/B testing to determine what are the best prompts. So, like for example, there are two possible cases which we can do. We want to, um, if customer. So this is just an example. We don't do it in my company. I took it from the internet. In this case, the company is helping the customer book a demo. So they said they can help you. Our team is ready to help you out with any questions. And there are two options here. You can book a mutually convenient time in our calendar, that is sending a button. So they'll click on the button and book a time that they want. Or the another option is getting their email and uh, they're reaching out as soon as possible. So we see what is where the customer experience is better. There are various metrics with this. uh, what are the customers booking through when they send out the email? uh, is it leading to conversions? Are the customers engaging with us more? So based on the reports, based on what is the performance of each of these options, we decide what to choose. We also create visualizations for stakeholders and performance monitoring, and we also play around with prompts. So instead of saying would you like to rent or buy a product, we say are you calling about product availability or checking order status. And in each of these cases we can gauge the performance. Are the customers saying what we are suggesting, or are they saying something else, or are they just saying I want to talk to a representative? Based on that we decide what option to go with, and that then helps us improve the customer experience. So A/B testing is a critical part. So like I said, one of our major challenges is customers insisting on talking to a real person. um, so this meme clearly tells us, and we see a lot of cases where customers just want to talk to a human customer service. So one of our challenges is how do we make chatbots human like and develop trust in the customers. Another challenge we have is how do we deal with background noise? How do we filter it out? We are constantly updating, but as you know, sky is the limit. So we are continuously, our engineering teams work on that. And another minor nuance is robocalls. We get a lot of all automated telemarketing calls. So our models kind of take care of them, but they keep coming up with innovative ways to still call us and uh, create problems. So yes, that is all I had, and just a meme to end the presentation. Um, if you have any questions, do let me know. Supreet, you can take over.
Yes. Thank you so much, Saurabh. This was so interactive and your presentation was great. Thank you. I think we have,
Sorry, I can't hear you.
you can't hear me?
I can't hear you. Are you
You
there?
can't? Yes, I
I
am.
can hear you now.
Okay, awesome. Um, So thank you for the presentation, Saurabh. I think it was great. Great visuals and great memes. So thank you for making it so funny, along with making it informative. So I am looking at the comments, and there are different people joining. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining today. So, okay, we don't have any questions yet, which is good. I think you covered everything so well. But okay, I have a question. So let me start with my questions first. So, I know that you briefly mentioned about some of the challenges that you face in terms of data. It could be like something which is not anticipated, or your bot is not trained on, they don't know how to react to it, or your AI algorithm might not be as dynamic as possible. Is there Are there any other challenges that you see on the data front while building this? And how do you think industries or Home Depot, whatever you can talk about, is dealing with these issues?
Yeah. So, firstly, what we are trying to do is stay one step ahead of what we can expect from the customers.
Right.
So we regularly do customer surveys, interviews, so as to anticipate what the customer is going to ask in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, one of the major challenges we have right now is transcription issues. Customers, I mean, with chat, it's not big as much as an issue because you're literally typing things, but with accents, with how people say things, even the best
Yes.
automatic speech recognition modules, they are not able to catch things.
Yes.
So even our training data has to reflect that mistranscribed training data. So which is some challenge that we are facing.
Definitely. Definitely. So I have another follow-up question on that, but let me take one question from audience before I ask more questions. So we have a question which says, do AI systems based on intents and entities generalize well? I'm talking about, let's say you want to add more things that your model can do. Can these entity and intents scale?
Yeah, definitely. So one of the things that we are trying to do is add more intents. So they do not generalize well. We have to add more specific intents, so that those we can build out those intent specific flows. Uh, yeah, that is the strategy. And I've read a few. I've talked to other few industry experts uh, that they too recommend the same thing. These models are hard to generalize, but we can cover like maximum customer requests by adding more intents and having good training data. I think you're on mute, Supreet.
Okay, sorry. I hope it answers the question. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to put it on chat. So, Saurabh, as you might have noticed that these days they are talking a lot about explainable AI, responsible AI, and doing fairness bias testing, especially in the regulatory industries. It's kind of a norm right now. So you also mentioned that there is kind of a bias, right? We can also define it as bias, where they're able to pick some accents, but they're not able to pick others. So is there a fairness and bias testing that's performed when a model is built, or on data testing, or on the data
Yeah,
in your
that is a very interesting thing. We are working on it. We are working with our stakeholders to do that. Also, one of the things we are trying to do is build a Spanish option.
mm,
People can speak in Spanish, uh,
mm,
and when they speak in languages they are comfortable with, we can offer them better customer service. So apart from
exactly.
uh, getting rid of the biases, we want to
Mm.
get as close to the customer as possible.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Customer experience is the key for any organization. So, yes,
Yeah,
well put.
but definitely, Home Depot is big on removing biases, ensuring equal treatment to everyone, and our AI models reflect the same. I mean, when we work on data, we uh, our bots are such that or our data capturing processes are such that we do not capture any API informations or any customer information as such. We are very we follow all the required laws and rules.
Awesome. Awesome. So, do we have any other questions? We have a thank you from Jatin. He definitely enjoyed your session. Uh, Chanukya, do you have any questions? Or, I mean, I can go on and on on the questions, but I would like to give everyone a chance.
Yeah. No, I think I just wanted to know more on his personal data science journey. Maybe I think he partly covered it, but probably like, maybe any suggestions that he may have for some of the newbies. And I think like, we already have some question to him more on the personal journey. What is the reason behind moving on to data science and AI space from being from BBCL? Like, yeah, Saurabh, you can maybe add some thoughts to it on your personal journey. Yeah, I think it's always nice to know the personal journey and what kind of struggles you have been through in terms of getting started with your journey. I think a lot of people who are getting started will probably correlate to it and probably find some inspiration there. It will always be fun to know that. Yeah.
Yeah, so BPCL was very interesting. BPCL, so I this was my first job out of college, and I graduated as a mechanical engineer. So basically, from signing huge contracts like contracts worth crores to actually putting my hands in machinery and greasing them and getting my clothes dirty, everything had to be done by a new joinee in BPCL. So I saw a lot of areas of business, and then I decided to pursue industrial engineering, which is very similar to what I was doing in BPCL. So I was a proper industrial engineer in BPCL, and when I came to the US, I discovered data science. Right when I was about to go to the US, we connect with people who have gotten the same admits as you, right? So I understood that a lot of them are studying data science, which is an emerging field. And then I got a subscription from Data Camp, and I did SQL. I used to do a lot of reporting in BPCL, and what we used to do is we used to manually take data from Excel and send it to our regional office group on WhatsApp. So take data from Excel, send it on WhatsApp, and other things such as planning or monitoring of our machinery, everything we were doing slightly manually. So we didn't have any predictive mechanisms, nothing. So when I read about this field and thought that even as an industrial engineering in oil and gas, I could make about some changes, or I could have a more intellectually involving role. I decided to study data science, and at Texas A&M, I continued the studies. I took courses from Coursera, Data Camp. Along with that, I enrolled in nonlinear optimization, some operations research courses, and I got an internship at Got It AI. Got It AI is a natural language NLP. They do a lot of NLP. They build products that are NLP heavy. So I was fortunate to get an internship there, and yeah, that internship actually helped me understand what I'm interested in, and it increased my interest in natural language processing.
Got it.
And then,
Understood.
yeah,
And also, as I understand again, I mean, like, you took the initiative yourself, and you have done your masters in industrial engineering, if I'm not wrong. So how did that transition happen? Again, I mean, a lot of people struggle to switch fields, right? So what was your mantra there, and what were the steps that you were taking? You were just working hard in terms of acquiring new skills, and what did you do to be able to get that first opportunity?
yeah, getting the first opportunity is very, very difficult. I had to cold mail a lot of people. I
Mhm.
I used to do 500 or 600 cold emails every week
Amazing. Yeah.
for that one internship, and
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to break into analytics. So,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be an industrial engineer again. I wanted to try this out. So
Mm-hmm.
having like being an industrial engineer, at that point people had questions, but right now if somebody decides to pursue industrial engineering, the industry has accepted that industrial engineers can be good
Mm-hmm.
analysts or data scientists. But at
Right.
that time I used to be asked questions like, you're doing industrial engineering, why do you
Mm,
want to be in analytics?
Mm.
right.
Even though our course is all analytics and operations research.
Absolutely. I think that's very inspiring. I think it's all about persistence and never. I mean, like, you have shown that never give up attitude to be able to get that breakthrough, right? I think that's a good lesson that everyone can learn from. And thanks for that. I think we have some technical questions. Maybe
More questions.
Supreet, you want
Yeah.
to
Do you
take
want?
it? Yeah.
Sure. Yes, yes, yes. Let's take this one.
Mhm.
So Jatin is asking if do you use Distilbert in place of BERT models, as they're similar in size and easier to train?
We usually work on VM, so we use BERT. Distilbert, we don't use much, but for smaller tasks, maybe if you want to check, look at similarity score, sentence similarity. Even Distilbert works well. So since we do not have any resource constraints, we use BERT. It's better than Distilbert for, uh, I mean, in general or for any specific task as well.
Thank you. And I think there's another question on your journey, and I think it's an interesting one for you. How can we merge data science and mechanical engineering and build some projects?
Yeah, I think it all boils down to, if you are working with machines, is that machine capturing any data? So while working at BPCL, we had collaboration with a, a German company was our vendor. They put in sensors on each of our machines. So we had built a control panel, a a station to capture all the data from our valves, from our pumps, from our every machine. Like we had 10, 15 different machines, major machines, and in the LPG bottling plant. So the first thing you need to check is whether you have enough data. And when you
Yeah,
have data, at least the least thing you can do is build some visualizations or get some insights from that data. So more and more, as we see, mechanical engineering is going towards data science. Every field is going towards data science. And definitely there is a way to merge data science and mechanical engineering.
yeah, and I think that's a very good tip right out there, right? Because any field that you are starting to explore in terms of AI, the first step is to explore the data. So, as Saurabh suggested, doing some EDA or even basic statistics on the data will give you a lot of insights, and then you can kind of start with the modeling portion of it. So, yes, that's a great suggestion. We have another question. Uh, Another technical question. I'm going to put it on the screen. Do you see the effect of data drift model performance deteriorating with time once model is put in production? Another challenge in data science.
Yeah, definitely we see that because customer utterances keep changing with time. I'll give you an example where last year, because of COVID, a lot of customers were asking us, "Do you have this hand sanitizer, or do you have mask?" Our model was not able to understand because it had
Mm.
never heard of hand sanitizers or masks. So we have to keep updating the data so it does drift, and you have to keep monitoring it, or you have to build mechanisms that monitor it, alerting mechanisms that tell you something is wrong, go look at it.
Yes, yes. And these days we have specialized roles also around it. So people have ML ops teams that specifically are responsible for ensuring that the model in the production works and it doesn't encounter such issues. So, yes, thank you. I don't see any other question from audience. Um, Do you have any other question, Chanakya? Or sorry, we can't hear you. I think you're on mute.
No, I don't have any specific questions. I think that
Okay.
should be it. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I think we can give back 7 minutes to our audience and Saurabh. So Saurabh, thank you so much again for giving us 1 hour of your life and enlightening everyone with this amazing knowledge and topic. It was great to have you.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you for inviting me and best of luck. Keep inviting more people so that you help as many people as you can.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. And thanks for joining in. I think there is someone who's asking for one last question. Maybe we'll
Okay.
probably, if
Yeah.
he types in, we'll check in. Otherwise, I mean, you can always reach out to Saurabh offline as well. I think we'll drop
Yeah.
in his LinkedIn as well. And thanks, Saurabh, for joining in, and thanks, Supreet, for making this happen, and also thanks to all the audience. I think we got the
Yeah.
question. What was your answer when people ask you, being a mechanical engineer, why you want to join data science? Okay.
I think you should definitely mentor this person. He's very impressed by you.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Please feel free to reach out to me. Yeah, so I had already transitioned to industrial engineering, so I didn't have to answer this question. But I know people who have done mechanical engineering and are data scientists. They are working in Facebook or Apple, so there are such people as well. Uh, and I think in the US, if you show that you are capable, you have the skills, and you apply to a lot of places, you are definitely you should be able to convince people.
Exactly. Thank you. Okay. So
Thanks.
we'll end the broadcast then, Chanukya, for today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Cool.
before we drop off, I think probably I'll make some couple of announcements, and thanks Saurabh, and yeah, and just to give context to all of you, I think we have a couple of things going on the community initiatives front. One of them is the boot camps that we have live right now. There are about 7 introductory boot camps that we are running, and they're starting on 2nd of September. So feel free to join if you think if some of the topics are relevant to you and where you want to enhance your skill set on any of the topics. So we have topics ranging from basics of Python to explainable AI. So there is something for everyone, who wants to get started with the journey, as well as who wants to enhance their skills and probably uh, dive more into the more advanced topics like explainable AI or maybe unsupervised learning, for say. And in addition to that, we have an amazing global AI challenge that's running in collaboration with Juniper Networks. So it's based on a real world data set, and people are already having a lot of fun in solving the challenge. So feel free to join in. And there is also a starter notebook that will allow you to get started with the challenge. So there is a amazing documentation that was written in collaboration with Juniper team, and also our data science team has worked on it. So feel free to join and have fun. It's always important to solve problems, right? Educating ourselves is one side of the story. I think we should go beyond education and probably utilize those skills to be able to solve meaningful problems. It could be a business problem or a social problem that could help the humanity. And that's where I would personally encourage each one of you to go ahead and solve these problems, not just the Juniper challenge, but also there are so many other problems that are available out there. Be it probably you can find some problems in your own vicinity where you think the technology could help, and probably you can take it a shot too. So try building projects, and I think that will help you enhance your profile and also put up a best show in terms of when you're projecting yourself to a future employer as well, while applying jobs and everything. And that's it from our end. And thanks a lot, everyone. And yeah, take care. Bye.